A very good afternoon to you and welcome to Lunchtime News. You're with me, Stephanie Lazarus. Starting off with headlines, joint trades agreed between Sri Lanka and Belarus. Private bus owners hold demonstrations in Anuradhapura. Lower House of Indian Parliament approves $20 billion food security bill. Now your stories in detail. United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights Navi Pillai, who is currently in the island, held discussions with state sector officials.
Navi Pillai met with the governor of the Northern Province, Major General G.H. Chandrasiri, at 8 a.m. today. Subsequent to a meeting, she had visited the Jaffna Library. According to a correspondent, the UN Human Rights Chief met the district secretaries of Jaffna, Vaunia, Mullaitivu, Kilinochchi and Mana. He said that she had inquired into the development activities that are being carried out in the Northern Province. Meanwhile, a Satyagraha campaign was organized opposite the Jaffna Library during the discussions. The group of demonstrators had urged the government to find their missing relatives.
An agreement has been reached to enhance bilateral trade cooperation between Sri Lanka and Belarus. According to the presidential media unit, this was a result of talks between Sri Lankan President Mahinda Rajapaksa and the Prime Minister of Belarus, Mikhail Mishustin, yesterday. President Rajapaksa is currently visiting Belarus on an official visit. The meeting between Premier Mikhail Mishustin and President Mahinda Rajapaksa was held yesterday. The Premier of Belarus had noted that the time is right to strengthen ties between the two countries. The presidential media unit said that President Rajapaksa had provided an attractive package to Belarus to invest in Sri Lanka. An individual who attempted to smuggle a stock of gold to Mumbai was arrested by the Customs Department at the airport. Customs spokesperson Leslie Adhikari said that the suspect was taken into custody last night. The Customs spokesperson said that the suspect had attempted to smuggle the gold by concealing it in his body. 600 grams of gold worth 3 million rupees was found in the possession of the suspect. The stock of gold has been confiscated after investigations last night. A mother of two has been murdered in the Altuatta area in Kalutara South. The police said that the woman was murdered at around 8:30 last night. The police suspect that the murder may have been committed by her husband. The suspect had fled the area, and the Kalutara police is currently carrying out investigations into the incident. A protest staged by private bus owners was staged opposite the Anuradhapura bus depot. The demonstration was staged urging the authorities to arrest two suspects who were involved in an incident of assault.
Our correspondent said that the protest was staged for over 2 hours. As a result of the protest, bus services along the Anuradhapura, Katagasdigiliya, Anuradhapura Horupatana and Anuradhapura Galin Bindunavawa routes came to a standstill. The demonstrators also requested authorities to ensure that extortions do not take place. Meanwhile, a suspect who had allegedly carried out the assault with a use of a sharp weapon has been taken into custody. Our correspondent said the victim is currently receiving treatment at the Anuradhapura hospital.
An event was held in Colombo to felicitate the former General Manager of the Water Supply and Drainage Board, Lal Premaratne. An autobiography on Premaratne was also unveiled at the occasion.
වතුර ප්‍රශ්නය අද අපේ රටේ ලොකු ප්‍රශ්නයක්. එක පැත්තකින් අපේ ජල මූලාශ්‍ර අඩු වෙගෙන යනවා.
Water has become a major problem in the country. In one hand, water sources are on the decline stage, and on the other hand, due to climate changes, not only our nation but countries across the globe faces problems. Even the groundwater is polluted. In an era like this, individuals such as Lal Premanath should drive this sector towards development. That is my fervent hope.
සේවය කරන්න හැකි වේවායි කියලා ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමි.
The autobiography of Lal Premanath, written by Senior Public Relations Officer, the National Water Supply and Drainage Board, Sara Chandramuthu Banda, was presented at the event.
The National Water Supply and Drainage Board says that certain acts have been amended to prevent the pollution of water sources. The chairman of the board, Karna Sena Hettiarachchi, said that plans are being formulated to implement these plans.
Many speak of the fact that water sources are polluted. Therefore, we have received instructions from the ministry to implement regulations to prevent the pollution of these water sources. The National Water Supply and Drainage Board has taken steps to prevent the pollution of water sources. We look forward to implement these regulations in the near future and help prevent the pollution of these water sources.
Steps have been taken to rehabilitate inmates who have been subjected to imprisonment due to the usage of drugs at the Senapura Rehabilitation Centre. Secretary to the Ministry of Prison Reforms and Rehabilitation, G.S. Vithanage, said that a group of former LTT cadres are being rehabilitated.
The Ministry of Prison Reforms and Rehabilitation said that the inmates currently in rehabilitation at the Senapuru Rehabilitation Centre will be transferred to Vavuniya, and those in prison for the usage of drugs will be sent to the Senapuru Rehabilitation Centre. The Secretary of the Ministry said 1,000 inmates could be rehabilitated per period in Senapura. Meanwhile, 250 inmates are being currently rehabilitated at the Kanthakadu Rehabilitation Centre.
The logbook containing the records of tamed elephants have been found. The Wildlife Director General H.D. Ratnayaka said that the book, which was reported missing, was found following an inquiry that was conducted by a special committee. Subsequent to the finding, the legal division, which was closed down, has been reopened. Meanwhile, a baby elephant which was reported missing was found in the Dammal Odai area in Thanamanvilla yesterday.
An area resident had found the elephant in question at 4 last afternoon. Following the tip-off made by area residents, wildlife officers had taken the elephant calf to the Damwal Ode Viharaya. The elephant is said to be around 2 years old. Officers attached to the Udavalava National Sanctuary had taken the custody of the elephant.
A body has been found along the railway track in Mount Lavinia. The police added that several wounds could be seen on the body.
The deceased has been identified as 39-year-old Pradeep Nanajith, a resident of Neela Maharamaharagama, who was a textile businessman and a father of two. His wife said that Nanajith had left home at 3:15 a.m. on his three-wheeler to his shop in Pamanua today. His body and his three-wheeler were found this morning along the Mount Lavinia railway track.
I called him at 6:15 this morning. He answered the phone and he told me to come here. I don't know what to say about what happened. There was no big problem. There were some small issues in the business, but nothing else that I could say.
The Mount Lavinia police are conducting investigations into the incident. Also, Newsfirst reporter Janaka Gomes sent us this footage from Mount Lavinia.
On some tech report, NASA's goal is to launch a mission carrying humans to an asteroid by 2025. The purpose would be to capture the asteroid and redirect it into a stable near-Earth orbit where astronauts can study it.
NASA's video released on August 22nd illustrates the latter part of the process, where astronauts would approach and retrieve samples from an asteroid that had already been captured and redirected. An Orion spacecraft carrying 2 astronauts would be launched on a journey that would last about 9 days. At the end of the journey, the astronauts' craft would approach the asteroid, to which a capture vehicle had already been attached. The Orion would then dock with the capture vehicle. Once docking is complete, the astronaut would emerge with a translation boom, which they would use to pull themselves toward the asteroid capture vehicle. On board the capture vehicle, spacecraft and sampling tools have been stored. While still attached to the boom, one of the 2 astronauts would take samples of the asteroid, a process that could last up to 6 days. And with sufficient samples collected, the astronauts would maneuver back to the Orion spacecraft for the return journey. NASA is currently discussing multiple concepts and alternatives for each phase of the mission after receiving hundreds of submissions from industry and universities. The agency believes asteroids could one day be a vast new source of scarce material if the financial and technological obstacles can be overcome. The cost of a mission to capture and study an asteroid has been estimated from $2 billion upwards.